Fuck yeah! Stop talking about tariffs!
I see. I'm sorry to trigger your trauma.
I've had a meeting every day regarding tariffs.
I am streaming, by the way.
All because Dobiwan voted for Trump.
I did not. Let's not put shit out there.
Dobiwan stole the elections for Trump by voting as all of the Canadian people he knows for Trump.
I voted against my entire state and I lost.
Yeah.
True.
Listen, dying fighting tyranny is the most noble death one could hope for.
Okay.
Now put on this bomb suit and let's fucking get it over with.
Yes,
FBI, if you're listening, yes, I wanted to say that Dobie should blow up the president.
No, this is a parody. This is a stream. We are just disclaimer. We are joking.
March 31st, I will kill Trump. Get it twisted.
Have you seen the comedy skit where it's like, listen, I am not saying that we should kidnap the president's son. For legal reasons, I am not saying that we should.
No, I haven't seen that one.
I wish I could remember who the comedian was. I saw it was pretty good.
I'm just saying, if Canada had guns and we had Trump somewhere in Montreal.
I mean, Canadians are not afraid of owning guns, but
yeah, exactly. It's just illegal. We're not afraid of it.
Look, shots were fired. Shots were fired, and I'm not talking about you right now. Okay.
Imagine I get arrested for saying I will kill Trump March 31st. It would be really funny.
Is it true that Quebec, how do you say Quebec people? Quebecois. Yeah. Is it true that the Molotov cocktails are a well-known recipe up there?
My phone is ringing.
Make one.
I wouldn't say everyone knows how to make one. I would say that maybe 50% of the people in this call know how to make one.
Seems legit.
You don't know who I'm talking about, but you do know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I can guess.
Better.
Alright, I'm back.
I'm back.
I'm waiting for a phone call, so I can't put my phone on silent. But every time it rings, it's a scam.
Sick.
I love telling people they have the wrong number when they don't. I just don't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
Fair.
You know what you should do? Give them Amp's phone number instead.
Yeah. What's your phone number?
How do I look up a random number? I mean,
885. What's the fucking song? I had it literally yesterday. 8675309.
For a very slight payment, I can give you Fred's phone number, and then we can really have fun.
Illegal.
What do you mean illegal? Okay, maybe a little bit illegal.
Okay. Fred, whatever you do, do not press number pad 0. I am trusting you with this information.
Press number pad 0. Press number pad 0.
He doesn't have keyboard yet. It's my that's my mute key. So if you press it, you will literally turn me off, and I won't know.
Yes.
He's gonna what?
Pretty sure he said turn me on.
Literally the opposite. Okay, I think I'm good.
You haven't crashed yet?
I have not crashed
yeah.
yet.
Amazing.
Boo. Boo.
Alright, is everyone good?
Pretty good.
I'm filing my taxes.
Nothing. There was no stream a week ago, so we are opening with We just finished the thing. Well, we do the thing because there was no stream a week ago.
Nice.
From the top.
Now then, Lord Van Zeeks, how does the
Nice.
Prosecco wish to proceed? By the way, I will need to step aside for like 5 minutes at some point to bake my chicken, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I might also need to step aside because pest control is just gonna show up at some point.
The trial is rapidly descending into a farce. I don't mean the text on my screen, I mean what these motherfuckers in my ears are saying. How can you
wasn't my
just
fault.
walk away from court? Like a corked wine, the first few sips so bitter enough.
Hey, we've seen that one before.
No, we haven't.
That's because you're supposed to grind the cork into the wine.
Yes.
Drink it.
Let me get my blender. Have they invented those yet?
You're gonna have to do it with a mortar and pestle the old-fashioned way.
But what follows is so repugnant, it's good for nothing save the gutter.
If I may, Lord Van Zeeks. The defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened.
Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond, but let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed.
What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time?
It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garadeb household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road.
Wide.
Which means that the distance from the Garadeb's house to the scene is some... yes, 15 yards.
How much is that?
Let me see. 15 yards, that's around 14 meters.
What the fuck are meters?
The things that
14.
you put money into when you park.
I don't get it.
Oh, I see. That's a little farther than I imagined.
And, as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having portentous significance,
Dobby, what does portentous mean?
that's
Go.
not important. The fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book wantonly hurled by the lady of the house
What does
traveled some
wantonly mean,
15
Dobby?
yards.
What?
It's a type of soup.
Wonton soup.
To land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend?
Quick, Dobby, what does friend mean?
The thing that I would use to call everyone in this call except you.
Oh.
Got him. And did
Did
the
you?
jack? Yes. And did the jackknife follow a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots.
Guys. There's nothing I can possibly say to that.
That absurd insult in my favorite series. That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice.
Mr. Sato.
Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he?
Maybe let's pick our battles here.
No, I must insult him back. But, my lord, might I be allowed to speak?
As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead.
Wait,
I will
Felix,
speak
what
for
is
defense, yes. The prosecution may consider the idea a fantasy, but this is real life. But what the defense has postulated is believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And as such, the court has the duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Mrs. John Gary Deb, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination.
Saints alive! A cross-examination of a juror?
Should pick your unbiased jurors more often. Or more...
Order! Well, this is highly regular. We're Ace Attorney games, after all. It is precedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection!
My leg!
My leg! And unnecessary.
Lord Van Zeeks?
There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth in it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly. I'm putting my phone on silent, the stream can hear it.
Oh no.
Testing. Okay, DC.
What?
I killed him.
Yeah.
Are we here? Are we still here?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Only to suffer.
Yes, sir. Constable Rolly B reporting for duty, sir. I stopped filing my taxes to be here, sir.
Well, it would seem this Bobby is most respectable. Good morning, officer. Ossifer.
Sorry for dozing until now, sir. I was up for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir.
Oh, and they're so heroic, these London boobies.
Boobies.
Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more. Speaking of boobies.
Ooh, Raleigh, my hero, you make me swoon. Quick, Dobby, what does swoon mean?
It's the
Very
thing.
well.
Okay.
I hereby reject the defense's request.
My joke got cut off. It's not fair. Now I just look like an idiot.
Yes,
Oh,
that was the
it-
intent. And order the witnesses in the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Quick, Dobby, what does defense mean?
Defense. Defense.
Defense.
Yes, sir.
What's the fucking chant?
I don't know, you're the guy from Alabama.
These are the
No, I'm
reroll
not.
ones. Suspects. There's no need. We only need. Then I should get that. And 32.
This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garridib. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his word.
Finish drop on that.
You see, sir,
How are you?
the windows on the top floor of the Garadeb house are top hinged
Wait, what?
casements.
Wait, how are you
Casements.
already at
I have it.
Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it.
And I know.
I did leave the scene to go fetch help, but my trusty Raleigh was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
Very admirable, Bobby. You stayed awake the whole
Well.
time, I presume?
This is quite startling. Top hinge basement windows. I'm having a stroke.
No, Judge, the word is casement. That detail was not in the police report, Constable.
Yes. Sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy.
You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. That's it?
No, sir.
Sorry, but what exactly is a top-hinged casement window?
And you. You cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend.
Of course, sorry about that.
Oh, hold on, let me Google it. I found it now, the sun. This book says Google on the cover, but cast your mind back to the window in Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's rooms.
Okay, I'll try.
Miss
Flashback,
Judicial
flashback.
Assistant, I recommend burning that book when we're done. We don't
So
need to
then-
support such corporations in this industry.
I need my Google.
No.
There's-
I'm taking my clothes off.
No.
So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house, as windows tend to do.
True.
People don't open windows.
But as it's a top hinge casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see.
I'm glad you've rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay. A metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount, and also prevents dogs from approaching.
I don't get it. Can you
Prevents
explain the
opening?
joke?
This is news to me.
Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or a knife were to have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below.
No, impossible.
You see the problem, then? Good. Your education in Windows is complete. Now please uninstall it and install Steam OS.
Damn.
Man.
There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road.
That's all yards.
That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something we've discounted already.
That can't be.
Yeep.
Did you see that Raleigh? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony. Good.
Oh, yes, my darling, I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me.
Oh, Raleigh, you're so strong.
How is this happening? I haven't even stepped out of the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been completely destroyed.
Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your cross-execution.
No, cross execution isn't a mechanic until Ace 26.
Nerd.
No one's gonna understand
Nerd.
that. No one's gonna understand that. It's
Oh,
not no, but I'm
really?
referencing the same series.
Nerd.
Another desperate situation.
I wasn't paying attention.
I'm not repeating myself. I'm gonna
Yeah,
file
I
my
did.
taxes.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
check on my oven.
And I have in the oven cold inside. Of course we do the button.
Five attacks.
Hold it.
Oh god, I can't do my taxes anymore.
How can you do that for certain?
A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty.
Teehee, he said duty.
No,
I've said that before. Thank you.
Did he? I don't remember.
Same.
And that's
to
what happens
patrol the
when you-
streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. It's what the job's all about. And that's why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you Bobby's good for his word. I don't know why. Like, the text is tiny because I'm trying to file my taxes simultaneously, and I read it as stuttering, and I was like, that doesn't seem right. While rubbing my tired eyes, admittedly, sir.
Suffering didn't seem right to me. I was like, that's not in the text.
Teacher's out getting chicken, so.
Oh,
Rolly, you're so manly.
I have 3 wives now. Of course I am, my darling polyamory.
She's schizo and has like 3 voices.
If you squint hard enough, the text will change from Rolly to Rex.
Actually. No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Gary Debs?
Ah, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir.
Yeah. Well, so, could you answer the question? That was a huge waste of time.
Absolutely, sir. I will answer to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Gary Deb's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing.
Oh, the music stopped.
And?
I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard.
I'm back.
So I
buddy.
hope you'll
Going
take back
60
some
minutes.
tales of us London bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles. You freak.
I mean, I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here.
So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'll try.
So I was gonna make a joke of like, I love cross-examining a statement that gets followed up in the next statement, and you learn absolutely nothing. But we got evidence from it, so fuck me, I guess.
Well, I guess, no,
Try again.
that's the wrong one. I have
Let's
to,
read it.
Hold it.
E,
no,
E,
I have to
Hold it.
present, but not present,
and then just don't present.
and there it is, and then, examine.
Good. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That told me absolutely nothing.
At least for now, yeah, I
Alright.
suppose. Unless he was, like, not on this beat or some shit or whatever.
Was he? Wasn't he
didn't
on
see
break?
that.
Didn't they say he was on break?
He was trying to enjoy dinner with Pat,
Yeah, I guess he was technically on
and
break,
they
but,
they found the body.
I don't really have much off of that, so the press button.
Depression. By which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct?
Yes, sir. They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house. You see, they're restricted as to how much they open.
And therefore, anything thrown out of the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map.
I said as much in my own testimony, sir.
Yes, but I stand here to be cool, and you stand there to give me new... I don't know where I'm going with this. Here is the location where objects would have fallen.
Day
Yes,
drinker.
directly opposite the scene of the crime on the other side of the rather wide road.
I've been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before. Well, I have another question for you, Constable.
And what would that be, sir?
How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garadub's house is furnished with?
Well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
funny, holy.
You want to say
me?
something?
Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beat?
Is he still here?
He was here for the judge.
Sorry, I'm listening to how my food is cooking, and I'm trying to see if I'm gonna burn my whole thing down.
Let's burn your house down.
You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that?
Hey, be right back.
Who wants to be a girl?
Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky.
Lucky? What do you mean?
Well, of course I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Willie's beat. It was so close, you see.
Oh, I hadn't realized.
Oh yes, that street, Briar Road. That's the boundary between Rolly's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love?
Okay, I'm back.
Constable Beat.
One second.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Come in.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
That's the reason I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of the Garadab household yesterday. Their house is on my beat, you see, sir.
Really was cutting it close then.
Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something.
Alright, I am sorry I was fighting you, Fred, for the mouse. My mute hotkey wasn't working on OBS,
Oh my god.
so I had to
If the
mute.
Garadeb household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well?
Outside Mr. Garadeb's house? Yes, ma'am. My payment on that side of the road is part of my beat.
I see. I was unaware of that.
Pat,
Just think.
Is
Just
Just think, if the woman had been attacked,
Oh no.
Just on the other side of Briar Road. We would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. That's Bobby, after all.
oh, hang on.
Extraordinary people are Bobbies.
Alright, sorry.
Do you know what I think? I think Dobie should. I think the Good Lord's way of rewarding my Bobby was for all his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling?
That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it.
I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record.
For slaps?
Slap spoke. Leave it to me, Elder-san. I'll take care of it immediately. Thanks, Father, been updated.
Yay!
And now it's my turn, I think. Why'd you skip? I was asking if it was my turn.
So let's see exactly what the fuck updated me. East side. Refer Fester. I guess east side is what have appeared.
Interesting.
I see.
Okay.
This may or may not become relevant. It will become relevant.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the badge to become relevant.
Hold it. But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark.
Oh, but Raleigh and I was strolling along, gazing at the night sky, and looking for our lucky star.
Sorry?
The star that would guide us to eternal happiness.
Can it guide you to answer the question?
If a flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us, it would have lit up like a shooting star.
And if I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let Raleigh be an inspector, I would have said. 3 times, at least.
Of course, well, with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars.
In
Ooh.
short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife crossed the sky before you?
Yes, sir, that is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir.
Seems like they're telling the truth.
I need to excuse myself from the voice acting booth. Someone take over.
Okay.
Axis.
And then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her.
Press as I would.
Hold it! Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police block to fetch an officer. Is that right?
That's right, yes. If it had been on Raleigh's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course.
Don't
Who's
feel
Emperor?
bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat. I'm trying to impersonate him. I don't think I'm doing a good job.
So Rowley told me the way, only I sort of got a little lost on the way.
Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me.
She's Zorro.
Oh, Pat.
Oh, Pat.
Yes. We both love Pat. It's why we're a great couple.
So, I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. Oh, gotta go.
But like I said, my Rolly was at the scene.
But like I said, McRelly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed.
I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true Bobby is never really off duty, sir.
Voice acting changes. That's sorry, I mean, yeah.
Puberty's hitting this entire courtroom like a truck, sir.
He technically would not be the reporting. I mean, he is a reporting officer because he reported a crime, but he wouldn't be the reporting officer as in the one that has to deal with it.
That's weird. Well, why do we not know the actual officer who she called?
Yeah,
we know that.
Perhaps. I think there should be the reporting one, so that's probably the one thing we have to poke at somewhere.
Yeah, I think the way you're supposed to be looking at it is these people aren't like witnesses in that he's a Bobby, but in that they witnessed the crime. Because if we were to have the person whose beat it was be relevant to the case, then you'd have to have that be true for every other case in the series.
Why does it say reporting officer is really beat?
Because he's the one who reported the crime, because he witnessed it.
That's not what a reporting officer. Well,
like who made the report? Who made the report though?
He did, because he witnessed it. He reported it, and then the person whose beat it was came by and took over, and then they went to dinner because it was their anniversary or something.
So you're saying it's not relevant. That's what you're saying.
I'm merely trying to explain confusions being asked.
Okay.
Usually when things talk about
that she called a police officer and we don't know who she called, and we only know this guy who wasn't. It wasn't even.
Yeah, she called the person. She called the person whose beat it was. All I'm gonna say.
Why isn't that guy in court? Why isn't that guy in court?
Because he didn't witness the crime. They are here as witnesses, not as police officers. All I'm gonna say is the one thing got updated, and shit doesn't get updated for no reason.
Of course.
Okay. So east side, west side.
East side got updated, added, and it was of course pressing furthermore.
Nothing to report.
That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second, aside from the snooze. No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the yard's honor, sir.
Oh, really? That seems a little strange.
Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me.
This burnt copy of The Lion's Pride was originally in the Garrideb household. The question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time?
Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happened to be burned as well?
Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder.
Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene.
Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her back and how the book ends up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them.
Can I use something, sir? Please, Mr. Lawyer, sir.
Oh boy. I mean, yes, of course. What is it?
You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell.
What? No, I wasn't really. I mean, what is she doing?
Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't
back.
make testimony any less valuable. You
Oh,
sexist prick. You're back. You can take back your voice.
You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am.
I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
No excuses. Don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. My lord, you let me speak, won't you? Yes, Mrs. Beat, and will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire.
It sure would be nice if my wife gave the
Sometimes
defense
the
nude.
path of the least resistance is the sage one. Fuck you, Dobie.
I'm trying to ad-lib.
Oh, that was such a loud ad lib.
I heard that.
I didn't finish my thought. You couldn't have heard it.
That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife word counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't!
Oh. Duly noted, Mrs. Beats. Please, I humbly ask you to continue.
What could he possibly be about to say? I wonder. That's the one we just pressed, so
Yeah.
that wouldn't... Actually, no, that's the one we had. That's the new one.
Yeah.
Since the actions roll off sometimes, press it.
We have to press it. But
Yeah.
Mrs. Beat, nobody is questioning what you've told us.
Yeah, it's a new statement, Chad.
I saw it. I did that evening. I saw it clearly. That little Eastern with the whiskers and the funny curved back, slinking away from the scene.
I think I mean,
And I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
all very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction.
Oh, yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Raleigh. He gets ever so cross. And beats me up because he's a policeman.
Excuse me, Constable Beat, is there a problem?
I've never beat up my wife, sir. You can't prove it. No, sir. No problem, sir.
The wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Oh, well, in a way, sir, yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening is all.
So the woman that I had sex with wasn't a woman at all.
You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way on the night of the incident?
Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box, and the next beat over for mine. But she was gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting.
Oh, she's the one who killed the Japanese man.
I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone a good 15.
Everybody. Rosie?
Rosie! Oh, Rolly,
Oh,
you're
Raleigh.
such a treat.
Mm.
But the reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly. The Boccacelli?
Wow.
Guy who poops his pants every time Rolly is
The
mentioned.
bouquet?
Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about?
Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Rory is so romantic. He's saved up with farthings and halfpennies to be found in the gutter while doing his rounds.
The what?
Oh, yes. How romantic.
He'd forgotten all about it just now. Had you, my darling?
Ah! Oh yes. I'm not a voice actor, so I can't scream. But that was just between us. No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise... That's police officer.
Really?
Shut the fuck up before I hit you
Oh.
again.
Well, what was that all about? Constable B looked very obviously troubled during that exchange.
I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Hello-san.
Alright, can we take a 5-minute break?
We can,
Yes.
I guess.
Sorry, I pulled out the chicken out of the oven, but now I want to put it in my fucking food and eat it.
Right, fair. I can also go grab food that way.
Be right back.
I'd be about food. A food break. There's now 2 cats in my room.
A Japanese streamer was doing an IRL stream and got stabbed to death.
Yeah.
In Tokyo.
That's unfortunate.
I'm back.
I'm back.
Waiting on my friends. I think we're still waiting on Fred.
Yes. What's the over under on me finishing my meal? It's
How fast do you eat?
brother, it's a family-sized salad with 2 chicken breasts.
How fast do you eat?
No, I will die.
Coward.
What'd you say, Al?
How hungry are you? That's the real question.
Dude, it's the first thing. Listen, I've been like low money recently. This is the first like actual meal I've had in like 2 weeks.
Damn. Feels bad.
Okay.
I was eating like canned soups and shit like that. Now this 2 chicken breasts, not just
Man.
1, 2.
Dude.
Into the spiderverse.gif.
Yeah, I think you'll finish it.
Dude, but it
Oh.
looks good. Let me post
Wait,
that in real
was the question being asked like if you'll be able to finish it, or if you'll be able to finish it like before Fred gets back?
No. Finish it altogether.
Okay, I thought it was say before Fred gets back, which is why it's like how fast do you eat?
I'll post it in games.
Why are you posting it in games?
I don't care.
Okay. These are indeed chicken titties.
I can continue, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll meet in between. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. B about the bouquet.
Mrs. B, this bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add details about to your testimony, please.
Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to.
Ellipses.
Oh my god, that's good.
You dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime.
Yes, that's right. I was so upset. When we ran over, inside it was a woman with a knife in her back. I was so shocked, I dropped the bouquet Rory gave me. It was in a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting any light.
So I didn't notice it at first.
And you didn't pull out your cell phone to use the flashlight.
True.
And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on.
Yes, and I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's when I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all.
In case you need reminding, Mrs. Beat, the victim is not deceased.
Well, not yet anyways.
Ominous
was all
foreshadowing.
Flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road.
Your husband, presumably?
That's right. Silly me. I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. Although, I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think how it got there. I really can't.
So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite. Okay.
Curious indeed. Isn't it? But the worst of it is, I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose Rowley bought me. Will that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting?
By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this sorry, solitary rose?
Oh. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
That's it.
Yes.
That's the bouquet Rowley bought me for anniversary. Well, old bits of change he found in the gutter.
Maybe just call it a rose.
A rose by any other name is just as sweet.
Yeah.
Tell us, Lord Van Zeeks, where did you come by the flower?
According to the report by the policeman officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Girideb household.
Edging?
True.
In front of the Gary Deb's house?
Although it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare. Quick, Felix,
What
what
does
does
thoroughfare
thoroughfare
mean? Oh, thank you, sir, thank you. Could I have it back now, please?
No.
I'm pretty sure that's evidence, lady. No, I think for good measure. This court should be Rose added evidence.
Yes.
Holy shit, most based judge ever.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, I bet you $100 the fucking journal is of the same day. But it's a symbol of our love.
The what?
I want it
Oh.
back after the trial. Do you hear me? I want it back! Good grief. Rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. B.
He didn't say he would give you it back, he just said he won't forget.
I know everything. I just
How
don't
did
have
the book and the flower change places? What the heck?
No,
That
pretty
doesn't
much I
make
just
sense.
think that they... I just think they... Hold on, let me, I need a map. Actually, you can't even see my mouse. Whatever, I need the map. This. Right. So you know what the X showed the body and shit, right? They're actually going on the left. She dropped her flowers there, and then said that when she went to came back, which was the other side and shit, Rogue moved the body to not have to deal with it.
Oh, I
Base.
get it. I get
Yep,
it.
because the Rogue splits it, he literally moved the body so he could spend the evening with his wife and not have to deal with this shit.
Yeah, and she doesn't notice because she's bowed directions or whatever.
Yep.
Okay. That makes sense.
Question is, how do I present that?
What do you mean, how do you present it?
Well,
Exactly
let's
what I
look at the road for a second, just in case there's anything there.
No, I also should do that, you're right.
Yeah, I'm not rereading all of this.
Yeah, newspaper. It's very cheap looking road.
An English rose. It's such a beautiful flower.
It's wrapped in a journal. Newspaper.
This is a rose, is it? I've never seen one before, question mark.
Fred, give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I'm being incredibly paranoid. Thank you, I was paranoid for nothing.
I wouldn't say that exactly,
I would.
but I do know 3
You said that you like... Gosh, 3?
Yes, plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossom.
I read all of those as bosom.
Hmm. Perhaps you
Dolby,
should...
stop watching so much porn.
No, I don't watch porn. You can't prove anything.
Perhaps you should consider branching out, learning some that aren't food tree-based, for example.
Wow, did she just call you a fruit?
But those aren't as delicious.
Fruitcake.
Is this anything new, or?
Well, it's stylish paper with the flowers wrapped in it, isn't it? And definitely not.
It's just a newspaper, Nettle the
I
Sun.
told you it was a newspaper.
Oh, wow, I should have known. I suppose it's because I'm not used to seeing English print. It looks so exotic to me.
Ah, I see.
Is something wrong?
Oh, no, I was just thinking if you wrapped a stone-baked sweet potato in English newspaper, it might look like some sort of fancy cake.
Jesus, Knuckle-san, you sure do love your cakes.
I sure do love her cake, you know what I mean?
Give him a birthday gift and wrap it in a newspaper so he thinks it's fancy.
Look at the newspaper. I'm telling you, it's newspaper from too old.
But that's what I did, and we didn't. I think
Is
putting
the
from
flower
behind was a
thing-
flower.
Okay.
Well, try now just power clicked most likely. Ah, yeah, it's.
Yeah, it is. Okay, just checking. That's probably it then.
I guess the newspaper is not of relevance. Folk.
It's just a cheap rose.
So let's see. What should we present where? Because I kind of know what happened. It's just what the fuck do I? How do I say it to the game?
I guarantee you, Fred, it is incredibly obvious.
Let me see.
Maybe that one.
Maybe. Maybe that one.
Or how can you just say that he's lying though? You don't have any proof.
Well, I mean, the flower is the proof. Oh, fuck.
Oh, because he would have seen it. He would have seen the flower, right?
Yeah,
Is that the contradiction?
maybe.
Okay.
Well, that was some. What do you make of this? But that's sort of
Yes. The whole idea of an invisible attacker has been troubling me all along. But I believe I'm starting to get a picture of what really happened here now. The fourth book that had no business being at the scene of the crime made me sure that Mrs. Garda was hiding something from us. But it's becoming increasingly clear that someone else has been hiding something from us as well.
Amogus?
I think I may already be armed with everything I need to strike a decisive blow here. This time, I'm going to expose the whole truth about this mysterious affair.
No, it's probably that one where he is like, nope, nothing to see. And then we say, bro, you didn't see the flower? Let's try that one.
I don't get it.
There's nothing strange to report. The flower was in the darkness. He couldn't see it.
Good enough.
Inspection.
Your claim. You claim, Constable B, there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be.
What do you mean to say?
In your testimony just now, Mrs. B, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to the beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection!
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that meager bouquet, if a single solid bloom can be so described, no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs.
Meager?
Objection. How dare you? But if that were the case, why did Constable B not testify to the fact?
Gasp.
Garsp.
No one else approached the scene and nothing was moved from it. Constable Beach swore to death on Scotland Yard's honor. Honor.
But the bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why Raleigh didn't mention it, I'm sure.
No, because sadly it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. Lamp, more than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around.
What are you talking about?
Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet, there's also Mr. Gary Deb's book. Mr. Gary Deb's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife. Would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But, in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garadev's house. There's no logical explanation for those things. Unless somebody deliberately moved them.
What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, sounds like you think my Raleigh's done something wrong.
Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says. Whittling on about books and bouquets, why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is.
Good, Mrs. Garadeb's come round. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garadeb. But deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called, what was it?
Tampering, Naruto-san.
Right, yes. But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it. For a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection.
Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception?
Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person.
Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime?
Wow, anyways.
Obviously.
There's only one person it could have been.
Who let the dogs out?
Point. Constable Rolly B. It was you!
What? A police person? A member of Scotland Yard?
More likely to be fake.
What nonsense! Why would my Raleigh do something like that?
Roman's gonna be right back again.
There's no one straighter than my husband. Nobody works more tirelessly for the people of London.
Listen, to her credit, he is one of the only married characters in all of Ace Attorney with a wife.
Mrs. B, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty.
He said duty.
The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it.
You're making it up! It's all nonsense! It's all lies!
Lies!
What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him! He did it! Oh wait, his face kinda looks like a face with whiskers.
Clap.
If that was true, Constable beat.
If that was true, Constable Beat would never would have seen him do it.
I broke you. Oh.
And forgive me for pointing it out, when we dropped your bouquet, Mrs. B. I was after the defendant had fled the scene.
Oh. Well.
First, you make accusations about the landlord and his wife. And now you incriminate a policeman as well.
You mean the landlord and his maid?
But your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime. To hide something.
That's right. He's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. Oh, wow. What do we have anything to hide? That doesn't make sense.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. And until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats.
You've offered no motives for the more guy stabbing the other person, but whatever.
I am the prosecutor. I do not have to.
Well, Constable Beat had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair.
Son, have you managed to solve this mystery?
She says it like she hadn't already, but I'm pretty sure like
Counsel.
5 dialogue boxes ago.
You have made a very serious accusation against, it's a London, police officer.
Belief.
No, it was Naruto that actually had the bubble that solved everything.
Yeah, but she joined in on it as if
If-
she also understood.
You are mistaken. I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a layer will be irrevocably damaged.
Quick, Felix, what does Layla mean?
That's what happens when you die in Warcraft. With that stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this, well, alleged tampering.
Yes, sir. Yes, my lord.
Your Honor, he was horny.
You're
He
on a
moved the corpse so he could smash.
you're on a League
Wow,
of
that's
Legends.
Death penalty.
Yeah. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the scene of the crime was to hide
We established it.
where the victim fell.
Yeah, it's when I said he didn't
Hey,
want it to be
no
on his
hints.
piece.
No hints.
I'm the assistant. I'm allowed.
Yeah, I am. No hints.
Yeah. No, but it makes sense. It makes sense. He's hiding where the victim fell, so he doesn't have to deal with it.
That's
Also,
like me when I said horny. That
Yeah.
actually is the case. That's the
also,
reason.
Felix, you say no hints, but the one controlling the mouse doesn't need the hint.
Also, I'm the assistant. I'm allowed.
Yeah.
Where the victim fell to the ground. I think we're wrong. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs.
What? Nani?
Where the victim fell? You mean where? She was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we?
Oh god.
On the pavement of Briar Road. We saw it happen, remember? It was right there. As if anyone didn't already know.
Certainly what everyone has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all.
What? What? Wah! I'm beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial will end, Counsel. I'm tired and I want a nap.
If that's your assertion,
I'm not allowed to
then
skip
the
the
court
point.
is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening?
Well, the game's actually making
In
us place
Mr.
that.
Natsumi's lodgings.
Having a point on a map does happen occasionally. Or like
I know, but
unofficially.
I mean, I thought it was already no, not that. It's fine.
Listen,
it's just the.
I hear
those
you.
people-
I hear you. It should be
Whatever.
incredibly obvious, but this is an Ace Attorney game, and everyone is stupid, and you have to spell it out.
True enough.
Like in a lot of games, the prosecutor by this point would already understand, and if anything, be like delaying the inevitable. But Van Zeeks is legitimately like, "Where did this happen then, huh, wise guy?"
But that's...
On the opposite side of the road.
That's the big thing they're saying?
Yes,
That's
but,
the big
but,
shock?
But why did the chicken cross him?
I mean, to everyone else, it's basically like, okay, it's
I
on
don't
the other side of the
understand.
road. Whoop-de-doo. What does that change?
Good question. We still don't know who stabbed her. Unless it's like an accent laugh. Anyways, proceed.
Oh, shut it.
Um,
I don't want to land.
On the evening in question, Mr. Garrido's book fell directly down from the open window above. And your bouquet, Mrs. B, never moved at all. What did move?
Speen.
Point was the scene of the crime itself.
Good scare.
I do love those
Good.
spinning shots, though.
Good gracious.
Bees?
Dobby when he's taking spinning back shots.
Do not end that sentence. Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard.
Dobby, quick, what does ample mean?
It's the guy in the voice chat with us right now. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place.
That's right, I saw it. With my other eye.
Get to the point. I mean, it was 5 o'clock in the evening in RV Dock. There was the typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold, you ran to the victim's aid. That was actually on the west side of Fire Road.
No, that's not true. It can't have been.
Constable B then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene.
Heart transplant? It's a botched surgery all along.
He moved all the things shown in this print. The victim herself, 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. I'm
Look
very
at
close to the camera right now.
Dramatic effect.
Extra something.
But the constable overlooked one thing.
What did he overlook?
The bouquet, I presume.
Exactly.
The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Yeah. Lord Van Ziek said it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. That's so hard to say.
Yes, it couldn't have been seen in the dark. Obviously.
Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road.
This is when he says, like, yeah, I did it, but the other guy stabbed her, so, like, what do we do?
And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening.
But
How do
that's
you
just a
respond?
theory.
Get banned,
Games,
bitch.
A game's theory.
A court theory.
Yes.
Constable Rolly beat.
In before he's asleep.
He's locked in.
Discord doesn't pick up my fake snoring. Is Roman still AFK?
Yeah, he's still doing his tax.
Well,
A
I'm
woman, you say?
very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important?
Oh, Rolly. It isn't true, is it? What the lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is. Because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know. Well, she's in about for a tough fucking surprise.
I had a dream. A terrible dream. Where the white
Japanese men had
kids and
rights.
the black kids. All the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything exposed.
What?
Go for food. Before they like put things.
Did Fred say go fuck food?
That's not what he meant by everything came out.
Yes.
Why does Fred not speak French to Emma? They're in Quebec. Loisson Ernst.
She's still learning. Yes, yes.
See,
Only it seems it wasn't a dream after all.
good. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying good. Like,
Good.
yeah. Shut the fuck up, y'all. What on earth is the meaning of all of this? Oh, Rolly, why? Why would you do something like this? For me? Wait, moving a corpse is, well, that's not good.
Witness, do I need to remind you once again the victim is not dead?
I wish the victim dead should be one too.
For once, I agree with
Constable,
my learned friend.
Explain yourself. Why would you do this? For
But that's
love. As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London town.
I can't say, sir.
What?
I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation, for everything.
I have a possible explanation. For why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason.
What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman.
And yet, Lord Van Zeeks, if this foreigner, you, who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far,
Oh, my racism. Judge.
Judge.
oh, I believe it would be beneficial for a nap to the court to hear this extraordinary young layman's theory.
You got me?
Young. Counsel for the defense, if you please.
I don't know why that got me.
Because you were a child, Dobie.
Yes,
And
my
if there's one thing I like...
But don't finish that thought.
Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence. I'm going to jail again.
At once, my lord. England, Japan, it makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are all the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's action.
I want to see like the real-time version of this game where his English is very subpar, but he's still like doing all of this.
Also, I have to go in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
That's
almost
fine.
done.
Case is like winding down, so I would prefer to finish it, but we can stop if we have to.
We can stop if we have to.
Also, they present this because it's the thing that says, you did that when it comes
Crimes
on
fall.
his beat. Yeah.
No, that one.
So, Your Honor, only. It's literally why.
I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land. I have only just arrived from Japan. Which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that, though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example.
Keeping the peace. Looking after the citizens on his beats and all kinds of other. There is no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day. Certainly.
For Constable Beat, the day in question was special.
Special? How? It was his wife's anniversary.
On account of this bouquet, my lord.
Oh, yes. It was her very first wedding anniversary.
See.
I gotta go.
Good, but
Alright, bye.
we just end this scene and that's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal.
When he and Miss Beat stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road. When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of them. What must have gone through the man's mind? But, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Miss Beat puts up with a lot being married to a Bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
The warrant card that Constable Beat offered to lend to me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives.
Oh,
Roman's back.
Constable
Woo! I'll take Judge then.
fine.
Is that or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day?
Yes.
TLDR, he moved the body to the other side of the street so that he wouldn't have to give up his anniversary dinner to, like, do all of the policeman shit.
Everything you said, it's all right.
He didn't commit a crime.
So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat.
Oh.
Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred in Constable Beats Beat. Hey, Beats Beat.
I mean, that's the part of his name, yeah. Patrolling the beat. Good gracious! Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you have done?
It was the first time since I became a copper that I'd ever cursed God.
Base.
Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then, it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why'd this have to happen to me? And why tonight of all nights? Why? Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime, so I told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then, when I opened my mouth to speak, it just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So I have to go to the police box that covers it, turn right along Meertram Street, and then...
The leap seas intensify.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Constable.
I just wanted... just that one night to take my Patricia out for dinner.
Oh, really?
Just that one night.
You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care.
You see, I thought... Well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, of course he didn't. Otherwise my Rolly would never have left that poor woman on the freezing cold pavement.
Ah, I see you're meaning now.
But God got me back from my sins, didn't he? That's he with a capital H. That's why...
True.
That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat.
Oh no, Rolly. It was all my fault. I should never have dropped it in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly.
Well, and can you tell us, Constable? How many books did you move from the one side of the road to the other in total?
Huh? Oh, 4 it was. Yes, sir. Definitely. 4.
3 of them dropped by Natsume-san, and the 4th, being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Garrideb's household, of course.
But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean.
No, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it.
How you found it? What do you mean?
When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand.
You sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding?
Yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir.
Interesting.
By the way, I'm realizing there's still, like, a little bit of this case left. At the very least, there's still one mystery that hasn't been solved.
Yeah, like, who the fuck killed? Who's the fuck's the
Yeah.
killer?
Who's
That
the
I can't- that-
murderer?
That's why I said finish up the scene.
Yeah.
I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only the 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who done it. So I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a lot of difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it.
My lord. Oh, I got him posting both now.
Yes. You're like, oh, my lord is me.
I am my lord. Kneel before. Yes, Lord Van Zeeks. I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses.
Like, I mean,
Constable, you may withdraw.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Prosecutor, sir, what will become of my Rolly? What'll happen to him?
death.
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 For now, for now you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course.
Please, don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late. She said it. The answer really was horny, like I said.
Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired.
I'm tired, boss.
Alright then, my love.
One last thing, Constable.
Sir?
Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you.
Yes, sir.
Carve that lesson in your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime.
Never again, sir? You mean to say...
Leave. Now. This trial is not yet over.
Yes, sir.
And scene.
Oh! Did we stop?
No. It's just my parsec started to lag exactly after he said scene.
I got it. Quit game,
So-
do not save.
just say for me. I don't know why the parsec is tripping.
And I got my taxes filed. Hooray!
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I had to pay to file mine. I was upset.
Nice.
Man. What did parsec just kill itself? Exactly after you said C.
Yeah.
Amazing. It like understood
My
the sound.
nin has activated.
Property of your nin is the property to fuck up your own internet. No wonder you're getting so many internet problems.
Windows, fuck you.
It's the Windows update.
So you are
Yeah,
switching to Steam OS.
Were you here when my cousin and I were joking about it, like, the other day?
No.
Yeah, we were talking about it with Egg. Like, his computer can't run the newest version of Windows, and the one he uses is about to expire. So he's about to have to, like, switch to Linux or something anyway. So he's in the, like, please SteamOS release by, like, that point. And I'm just, like, fucking fed up with Windows. Because I did have to update, like, a week or two ago. So I can't say for sure that's why, there was definitely no stream last week, and my PC definitely didn't freeze when attempting. But it's like, I'm still frustrated from a few years ago when a mandatory update killed my shit. Like, if they want to keep making updates, fine. Stop fucking forcing me to update if each one is literally worse than the last.
Yeah, I have no plans to upgrade to Windows 11, so I'm using Windows 10 until it is no longer supported, and then we'll see. what I'll
Linux,
have to do.
baby.
We'll see what happens then. Maybe
Egg?
Windows 12 will be out.
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Egg and Wind both used Linux, so if a switch was made, you would have a few people you could ask for, like, tech support.
Yeah.
No, I would, as soon as I can, / shenanigans, I'll just switch to Linux. At most, I'll maybe have dual boot for Windows compatibility. Some
It's
games.
just annoying for gaming reasons. Like, it's good to have Windows usually.
Yeah.
Unless,
Yeah, that's why I would dual boot unless like Steam OS comes out like before like Windows 10 comes out of goes out of service. Then I'll just dual boot Linux and that because
within Steam, hang on. Within Steam, everything is like 99% of things are going to be compatible on Steam Deck. So, like Steam Deck is already a modified Linux, so anything that runs on Steam Deck should run on Linux. The real issue would be, like certain fan games that only have Windows versions, or things that like do not go through Steam.
There is some shenanigans compatibility with that at least, but yeah. I do know it's been getting better over the years too. Linux compatibility.
Yeah.
well, we'll see. For now, I can use Windows because my computer's not compatible with Windows 11, so they couldn't force me to update.
I didn't mess with it a whole lot on the Steam Deck, but there's a program you can download on Linux that lets you run Windows applications. Well, it's supposed to anyway. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't work for all.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna in-stream.
Alright, bye.
Later.
Goodbye.
See ya.
And I now pull up music. And I will be streaming tomorrow. Today is birthday, but Thursday is an awkward day. So actual birthday shit tomorrow. Look forward to it. Later.